7 million able-bodied men between the age of 20 and 54 are jobless or are not looking for a job in the United States, and in Europe there are 13 million men in the same boat. These are the official numbers the media is showing, but in reality the statistics are much grim. So how did that happen? Well, mainly because of brainwashing and subversion. Men are rejected by society because women have been made to believe by the media, the feminist movements, that they need to be pampered and be treated like queens, and look for a tall, handsome man that is earning at least 6 figures a year, if not 6 figures a month, setting an impossible standard to achieve, making men check out of relationships and checking out of society, and living a minimalist lifestyle, and in the process leaving women single and alone, and not in a relationship, making both men and women victims to this diabolical plan to destroy the family unit. This playing right into the hands of the elites, the World Economic Forum that wants you to own nothing and be happy, wanting you to be weak and dependent on government welfare, as long as you are submissive and compliant, so that way they can have total control over you, so that they can usher in a single global currency and a single world government, stripping away any national sovereignty or individual identity out of you, so that way they can do generational replacement by breeding your race out of existence. So that way they can have their utopia, where there is no race, no individual identity, no national identity, to achieve complete and utter world domination, creating a single global slave race. Okay. Now, let's do the less schizo version of the video, okay? So there are real and provable factors why unemployment is so high in today's world between able-bodied young men. First one, and the most important one, is, of course, brainwashing. A thing I talk ad nauseum on this channel, and I encourage each and every one of you to subscribe to me and wake up. Brainwashing for both men and women. Let's start with the ladies first. Women have been brainwashed by the media, influencers on TikTok, on Instagram, to set for themselves impossible expectations in regards to finding a man. And this sick trend has made 2 generations of women materialistic gold diggers. How many times have you heard the narrative that women should settle for nothing less than a tall, handsome guy that makes at least 6 figures every month, and have other 78 random nitpicked traits that they deem mandatory? Oh, and I'm not talking only about women here. Men have been brainwashed as well, to believe that all the women are gold diggers and they will love you only for your money. Don't get me wrong, there are those kind of specimens out there, but come on, they're not all like that. I mean, I personally met and dated very decent women. And of course, men have been brainwashed by alpha influencers in the manosphere. They have been made to believe that they have to grind, to hustle. That way and only that way a woman would want them. If they have 7 different Lamborghinis and 2 yachts, creating this stupid hustle culture between alpha males. I bet most of you can't even bench press your own weight, you twinks. And men don't see a reason why they would be in a relationship to provide for that relationship that later can develop into a family. Because they are tired of emotional games. They are tired of being rejected. And most of all, they are tired of being alienated and neutered for their masculinity. And they have been made to believe by feminists that their masculinity is toxic. And of course, because they are not met with their basic needs. Most young, modern Western women don't even know how to cook properly for themselves, let alone for a man, because they have been brainwashed to believe that they do not need this basic skill because it's a patriarchal oppressive trait, and that is evil towards women. Why learn this basic survival skill when you can pay for takeout or let your men pay for a home chef. Man, brainwashing goes a long way. Men don't see a point in having a job to provide for a relationship or a family because they can sit comfortably on the sofa playing video games, eating junk food, sleeping, relaxing, and living a quiet life without drama, without hassle, abusing the welfare system the women have been using since forever. Now, men are hopping on social welfare where they can live a minimalistic lifestyle because, of course, men don't need that much to be satisfied. And now, men are living unfulfilling lives, rotting away in their basements, while women are angry and also unfulfilled because this stupid war of sexes that is fed to them through propaganda and brainwashing. This war is waged on the family unit because, of course, this is how you destroy a nation. You strip away the family unit and you basically have won the war. This is what the West is struggling with the most, and this is one factor, but an important factor why young men are jobless in today's world. Another factor I would say is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of settling down, and fear of what they saw in their own lives, what happened to their uncles, to their fathers. They saw that their marriages have ended in divorce over many years and many times, and they destroyed their lives, and they don't want the same thing to happen to them. Because every decade the divorce rates have gone up and up because men and women are becoming more antagonistic to each other. Another result of course, brainwashing. To never give from oneself, to never compromise something to each other. Always my needs are more important than your needs. My feelings are more important than your feelings. They cannot come to a compromise unless they start a fight. Me, and again me. This stupid individualism that has been force-fed to us for decades through movies, TV series, commercials, influencers, and philosophers. So thanks, Ayn Rand, you stupid ugly bitch. In a relationship, you are not alone. In a relationship, you should love and support each other, not be antagonistic to each other. So, Western men and Western women, just stop with this stupid nonsense already and make babies! Because North America and Europe are literally dying! He saw that I took his toy, yeah, and he's pissed at me now. Kyoto. Another factor I would say is consumerism, in tandem with government welfare. That has made everything so easy for men to just apply for the unemployment fund in both North America and Europe. And that way they become literal social parasites that feed from the taxpayers' money and from the working class. And because, thanks to the internet and the rise in popularity of venture markets, young men are now investing in cryptocurrency or stock markets. And some of them actually get a return on their investments by doing literally nothing. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently evil about investing some money and then cashing out, but let's face it, this is money laundering 101, but I digress. And the repercussions of this mass unemployment between young men are horrifying, to say the least, because what awaits us is nothing short than global economical collapse. Because we are consuming more than we produce. We have at this moment more consumers than producers. You have more consumers than product manufacturers. You cannot build a civilization, a society, a culture when men are not creating something, whether it's infrastructure, agriculture, or even art, music, you don't have a culture. We globally are a consumer culture based on nothing but profit. What sells the best? What attracts more clients? What attracts more customers? This is not a meritocracy. What we have today is idiocracy. We have become a consumer world, and at some point this economic bubble will pop and all will collapse in an instant. And how can you revamp an economy and a dead society in 2024 after everything else failed? World War III, of course. I know it's a controversial statement, but this is what awaits us. In the immortal words of Gerald Celente, when everything else fails, they take you to war. History repeats itself. How did USA got out of the Great Depression? Many economists and historians will say it was because of FDR's brilliant Great New Deal. What a load of horse piss! No, you idiot! It was because they entered World War II, and every factory that was abandoned during the Great Depression, when there were massive layoffs, and millions of bankrupted businesses, became after night a bullet factory, or a matchstick factory, or a metal factory for airplanes and tanks, and the Federal Reserve had free reins over printing endless paper to jumpstart their dead economy. And of course, the wartime propaganda that every time is so successful when the fog of war is at its deepest, and the stupid brainless sheep will give their lives for a war they have no business being part of. Every war is a banker's war. Yeah, just don't check the early life of those bankers, because the ADL might knock on your door anytime now. Fuck you, Greenblatt! My predictions are the following. 1. Either the governments with the World Economic Forum and the bankers will create a universal global currency to make you a slave to credits if you do not behave in the way they want you to behave, and monitor you through 24/7 global surveillance. Because of course, look at the credit loans debt in the USA. It is over $1 trillion. You realize how high is that? Most of the countries in the world don't have a GDP equal to USA's credit card loan debt. Who's gonna pay for that? The USA at this moment is a debt-based society. They play right into the World Economic's agenda. They are helping to usher in the Great Reset that everyone is talking about. A dystopia where you will own nothing and be happy, to quote their diabolical phrase disguised as a benevolent and altruistic idea. Bro, I'm not even gonna debate. This is the fucking Antichrist right there. This is what the Book of Revelations is talking about. And scenario number 2 is basically World War III, because this is where we're headed. Where you will be either a factory boy, or you will be cannon fodder on the front lines, or you will be in jail. Like I will be. So how do we combat this? It's simple. Build small communities with like-minded people, build small networks, build yourself a family, most importantly, make children, honor God, and don't trust the government. It's simple. Oh yeah, and subscribe to me. Yeah, I know it was cheesy as a Little Caesars pizza, but I don't care. It's my channel and my type of humor. If you don't like it, blow me.